In previous classes, we have been discussed about in plant kingdom the subkingdom of cryptogams, means dilophytes, bryophytes, and pteridophytes. In this class, we have to discuss about another subkingdom, phanerogams. So phanerogams generally flowering plants. Cryptogams are non-flowering plants. In cryptogams, in dilophytes, bryophytes, and pteridophytes, sex organs are in visible condition. But in phanerogams, so these are the flowering plants. So maybe sex organs are macroscopic condition, visible in a condition. These are nothing but a flower and a seed containing a plant, seed having a plants, seed bearing a plants. This is also known as a spermatophytes. Spermatophyte. Sperma means a seed, phyta means a plants. Seed bearing plants is known as a spermatophytes. So sperma means seed, phyta means plants. Seed bearing plants is nothing but phanerogams. That means spermatophytes. These spermatophytes are further classified, divided into two classes. So these are Gymnosperms, then Angiosperms, Gymnospermae and Angiospermae. So first one coming to Gymnosperms. So gymno means naked, sperma means seed. That means the seed bearing plants, but the seed is a naked condition, not enveloped by any ovary wall. Seed coat is present, but the seeds are not enveloped by ovary walls. That means ovary is absent. This type of plants is known as a gymnosperms. So gymno means naked, sperma means seed. So after fertilization, the seed are not covered by the any fruit wall. That means pericarp. Before fertilization, the ovule also naked condition. So ovule enveloped by the integument, but not covered by the any ovary wall. That means before fertilization, ovary is absent. After fertilization, fruit is absent. These plants is known as a gymnosperms. That means in gymnosperms, two flowers are absent. So flowers may be present as a like a sporophylous condition. So microphyllous and megaphyllous, microsporophyll and megasporophyll condition. These are gymnosperms. So gymnosperms are classified basically four classes. So these are Ginkgopsida, then Cycadopsida, then Coniferopsida, then Neetopsida. So basically gymnosperms are classified into four classes. So these are Ginkgopsida, Cycadopsida, Coniferopsida and Neetopsida. So Ginkgopsida is a primitive seed bearing plants. Primitive seed bearing plants. Best example, Ginkgo biloba. Ginkgo biloba. So in Ginkgopsida, all are extinct plants. So maybe Ginkgo biloba only one species is present. In the genus of Ginkgo, only biloba species is present. That's why this is considered as a living fossil. Ginkgo biloba is considered as a living fossil. So in Ginkgo biloba, leaves are fan-shaped condition, bilobed condition. Ginkgo biloba is a dioecious. Ginkgo biloba is a dioecious condition. That means male and female sex organs are present on different plants. So male plant and female plant. So Ginkgo biloba considered as a living fossil. Leaves are fan-shaped, bilobed in condition. It is a dioecious plant. So primitive seed-bearing plant. Next one, Cycadopsida. Example, Cycas and Jamia. Cycas and Jamia. So Cycas also considered as a living fossil due to more number of characters in Cycas similar to which plants are extinct in pteridophytes and Gymnosperms. That means Cycads. So that's why it is also considered as a living fossil. Why? Because more number of characters in Cycas similar to in which plants in pteridophytes and Cycads are extinct condition. So that's why it is considered as a living fossil. Then smallest gymnosperm is a Jamia. So smallest gymnosperm is a Jamia. It grows approximately 26 centimeters. Generally gymnosperms grow up to hundreds of meters. So few meters to hundreds of meters. Cycas plants may grow up to 2 to 5 meters. Some plants may grow more than 100 meters also. Then Cycas is a dioecious plants. Cycas and Ginkgo is a dioecious plants. Next one, Coniferopsida. Examples, Pinus, Cedrus, Sequoia. So Pinus, Cedrus and Sequoia. Sequoia is a largest gymnosperm. It may grow more than 100 meters, 100 to 120 meters. It is also known as a gate redwood. Then Pinus and Cedrus are the monoecious condition. Next one, Neetopsida. Examples of Neetopsida, Neetum, Welwitschia, Ephetra. So examples of Neetopsida, Neetum, Welwitschia and Ephetra. This Neetum and Ephetra shows the number of evolution advances towards the angiosperms. So Neetum and Ephetra shows the evolutionary advances towards the angiosperms. So in Ephetra, largest archegonium is present. In Ephetra, largest archegonium, largest pollen chamber, largest archegonium, largest pollen chamber. Double fertilization is a characteristic feature of angiosperms. But in gymnosperms, double fertilization is absent. But Ephetra shows the double fertilization. Ephetra shows the double fertilization. Then we have to see the general characters of gymnosperms. So in this all classes highly dominated plants are conifers. In Gymnosperms, more than 900 species are living in a condition. In this 900 species, more than 500 species are conifers. So conifers may have the 500 living species. These are dominated large areas on a land. Generally, these conifers are growing in a hill and mountain areas. In rest of the classes, the distribution is declined in a condition. That means these are distributed in some narrow geographical areas only. Then general characters of Gymnosperms. So Gymnosperms generally worldwide distributed in a condition. These are growing in a temperate regions and xeric condition. So Gymnosperms are found in temperate regions, especially in xeric condition. That means water scarcity, water stress areas. That's why this shows the number of xerophytic characters. In Gymnosperms, plant body is sporophyte. In Gymnosperms, plant body is sporophyte, two and diploid in a condition. There, Gymnosperms are first land vascular seed bearing plants. So pteridophytes are first land vascular cryptogamic plants. That means non-flowering plants. So first land terrestrial vascularized flowering seed bearing plants are Gymnosperms. So Gymnosperms are archegoniate embryophytic flowering and seed bearing plants but true flowers are absent in Gymnosperms. So plant body clearly differentiated into true root, stem and leaves. So plant body clearly differentiated into root, stem and leaves. So generally in pteridophytes roots are adventitious roots are present, but in Gymnosperms tap roots are present. In Gymnosperms tap roots are present. These root may be associated with some other organisms. So best example, cycas plants. The roots of the cycas. In cycas, two types of roots are present. So first one is a tap root, another one is a coralloid roots. Another one is a coralloid roots. These coralloid roots are adventitious roots. These coralloid roots are adventitious roots. These are growing apogeotrophic condition. Apogeotrophic condition. Nothing but towards the upper surface of the soil. These are generally growing below the soil but towards the phototrophic in nature. Apogeotrophic nature. Generally roots are going towards geotrophic in a manner. These are apogeotrophic condition. Then dichotomously branched condition. These are dichotomously branched condition. These roots are dichotomously branched. Then bluish green color. These are generally bluish green in color. These roots are symbiotic association with cyanobacteria. That means blue-green algae, nostoc and anabaena. So adventitious roots, coralloid roots of cycas, symbiotic association with blue-green algae, nostoc and anabaena. Then will fix the nitrogen. Atmospheric nitrogen play an important role in nitrogen fixation. Then roots of some Gymnospermic plants, symbiotic association with fungal members. Symbiotic association with the fungal members. This association is known as a mycorrhiza. This association is known as a mycorrhiza. So mycorrhiza will be useful for absorption of water and mineral ions. Next one, coming to stem. So generally in gymnosperms, stem is a erect in a condition, then a stouty growing woody in a condition. This stem is a branched or a unbranched condition. So in cycas it is a unbranched condition. In cycas stem is a unbranched condition. Then in pinus and cedrus branched. So in gymnospermic plants, stem is a branched or a unbranched condition. In cycas, stem is a unbranched condition. In pinus and cedrus, it is a branched condition. On stem, number of leafy scales are present. In stem, vascular bundles are conjoined, collateral, open, end or vascular bundles are present. So conjoined, then collateral, open, end or vascular bundles. Conjoined, collateral, open, end or vascular bundles are present. Then secondary growth present in a stem and root of gymnosperms. Mainly in stem of gymnosperms. Secondary growth is present in stem of gymnosperms. Then at the base of the stem in some gymnospermic plants, first example cycas, vegetative buds are present. These buds is known as a bulbils. This buds is known as a bulbils. These bulbils will be useful for vegetative reproduction. Cycas revoluta plants are not present in North Indian places. In North Indian places, Cycas revoluta species is absent, especially male species. Male Cycas revoluta is absent in North India. So only female Cycas revoluta is present. So there is no possibility of sexual reproduction. So female Cycas revoluta extensively raising through the bulbils, nothing but through the vegetative reproduction. Gymnospermic plants, some gymnospermic plants reproduce vegetatively by the bulbils. These bulbils are present at the base of the stem as a adventitious buds, like a vegetative buds. Next one, leaves. In gymnosperms, leaves are simple leaves or compound leaves. In gymnosperms, leaves are simple leaves or compound leaves. These compound leaves are pinnately compound leaves. So generally leaves are two types in gymnosperms. These are foliage leaves, then scale leaves. Foliage leaves and scale leaves. Foliage leaves is nothing but green color, true leaves. Then scale leaves are scaly in a manner. These are short lived. Then deciduous in a condition. Then on surface of the leaves, thick cuticle is present. Then stomata is a sunken stomata. Cuticle is a thick cuticle, then stomata is a sunken stomata. These are two features very useful to reduce the transpiration, that means water loss. Sunken stomata means stomata situated in a deeper pits like a condition. This is known as a sunken stomata, especially in lower epidermis. So leaves shows the thick cuticle and sunken stomata. These are useful for reduce the transpiration, that means reduce the water loss. In gymnosperms, so vascular bundles are present. Vascular bundles compared to pteridophytes, highly evolved condition. So vascular bundles are present. That means xylem and phloem. Xylem and phloem are conductive tissues and mechanical tissues are present in gymnosperms. Generally, in pteridophytes, in xylem, vessels are absent. In phloem, companion cells are present. In pteridophytes, vessels are present in equisetum. Then, in gymnosperms also, in xylem, two vessels are absent. Two vessels are absent in a xylem. In phloem, generally sieve tubes and companion cells are absent. Instead of sieve tubes, sieve cells are present. Sieve cells are present. Then instead of companion cells, albuminous cells are present. So sieve cells and albuminous cells are present. Then wood in gymnosperms, monozygote wood. Then pycnozygote wood. So xylem wood in gymnosperms, monozygote wood and pycnozygote wood. Monozygote wood means parenchyma is present. Parenchyma is present. Example, cycas. It's also known as a polyzygote. Polyzygote. That means number of xylem bundles are present. Polyzygote or monozygote wood. So that means parenchyma is present. That pycnozygote means parenchyma is absent. Parenchyma is absent pinus. So generally gymnosperms plant body is a sporophyte condition. Gymnosperms reproduction by vegetative and sexual reproduction. Gymnospermic plants reproduce by vegetative method and sexual method. So vegetatively by bulbils. Then sexual reproduction is nothing but oogamous type. That means formation or development of sex organs, male sex organ and female sex organ. Gymnosperms are flowering plants, but true flowers are absent, like a male flower, female flower, true flowers, that means stamens, stigmas are absent. Then sex organs, generally gymnosperms are heterosporous. Gymnosperms are heterosporous. Bryophytes all are homosporous condition. Then pteridophytes homosporous and heterosporous condition. Gymnosperms, angiosperms all are heterosporous condition. That means two kinds of spores are present. These are microspores and megaspores. Microspores and megaspores. Microspores is nothing but male spores. Megaspores is nothing but female spores. Microspores are produced in microsporophyll. Microsporophyll. The megaspores are produced in megasporophyll. Megasporophyll, microsporophyll and megasporophyll. All microsporophyll in gymnospermic plant are aggregated to form a compact of structure. This is known as a strobili or male bone. Strobilate are a male cone. Microsporophylls all are aggregated combined to form a one compact of structure. This is called a strobilate or a cone. That means a male cone. In cycas plants, only male cone is present. Female cone is very rare in a condition. These cones are situated, arranged, found at the top of the stems. At the top of the stems, leaves are arranged spirally, crown like a condition. So in between the leaves top position of the leaves, these cones are present. In cycas plants, only male cone is present. Female cone is very rare in condition. In pinus plant, both the male cone and female cones are present on same plant. In cycas, male cone in one plant, female cone generally is absent. That means male sex organs on one plant, female sex organs on another plant. That's why cycas is a dioecious condition. Cycas and ginkgo biloba both are dioecious condition. Pinus and citrus may be monoecious condition. That means male and female sex organs are present on same plant. So pinus and citrus, cycas and ginkgo biloba are dioecious condition. So male cone. So microsporophyll. So microsporophyll generally flat shaped condition, wedge and triangular condition. So it is a flat shape, wedge and triangular in a condition. In this flat wedge and triangular condition of microsporophyll, the tip part is a pointed sterile condition without the sporangias. This is known as a apophysis. Apophysis. So apophysis is a sterile in condition without a microsporangia. Sporangias are absent. Then in fertile region, number of sporangias are present. Microsporangias. These sporangias are so grouping to form a this known as a soroid. Some sporangias are grouping, nearly 5 to 6 sporangias, 2 to 6 sporangias are grouping to form a soroid or a sorus. Each sorus may contain 2 to 6 of sporangias. So fertile region contains the sporangias. Sterile region without sporangia is called apophysis. Then in microsporophyll, microsporangias are present. Microsporangium. Then in microsporangium, microspore mother cells are present. This microspore mother cell undergoes to meiotic division, then produce the microspores. So microspores are haploid condition. Then microspores are first cell for male gametophyte. These microspores is nothing but pollen grains. Pollen grains. These are first cell for male gametophyte. Then these pollen grains shed release from microsporangium, microsporophyll from male cone. 3-cell condition. 3-cell condition. So one cell is a Prothallate cell. Next one is a tube cell. Then third one is a generative cell. Generally, in gymnosperms, pollen grains shed release three cell condition: prothallate cell, tube cell, and generative cell. But in finals, this pollen grain shed release four cell condition: prothallate cell, tube cell, vegetative cell, and generative cell. Next one coming to megasporophyll. Megasporophyll. So megasporophyll is nothing but a female sex organ. So female cone or female strobile, except in cycas plants. In megasporophyll, megasporangium is present. Megasporangium is nothing but ovule. Megasporangium is nothing but a ovule. So megasporangiums are present on megasporophyll loosely arranged condition. Loosely arranged condition. These are 2 to 6 pairs of ovules or megasporangiums are present on megasporophyll. So megasporophyll. On megasporophyll, ovule or megasporangiums are freely, loosely arranged without cover by any ovary wall. That means ovaries are absent. So these are maybe naked condition. 2 to 6 pairs of megasporangium or ovules are present in gymnospermic plants. True flowers and ovary is absent. That means ovules are naked in a condition. Then in ovule, inside the ovule, nucellus is present. So one of the nucellus cell develops into megaspore mother. So megasporangium is nothing but a ovule. So in cycas ovule. So cycas ovule is a integumented condition. So generally one integument is present. So unitegmic condition. In some other gymnospermic plants maybe bitegmic or tritegmic condition. Basically in gymnospermic plants are unitegmic condition. So one integument is present. So ovule is surrounded by the ovular wall layer, is known as integument, but the ovary wall is absent. That means the ovary is absent. So inside the ovule, nucellus is present. So one of the cells of nucellus develops into female gametophyte. Female gametophyte. Female gametophyte. So before this female gametophyte, one of the cells of nucellus develops into megaspore mother cell. Megaspore mother cell. So one of the cell of nucellus develops into megaspore mother cell. It is a diploid condition. Then megaspore mother cell undergoes to meiotic division, produce the 4 megaspores. 4 megaspores. Out of these 4 megaspores, 3 are degenerated. Only one is a functional megaspore. This functional megaspore then develops into female gametophyte. Female gametophyte. So functional megaspore develops into female gametophyte. So megaspore is a first cell for female gametophyte. Then megaspore, functional megaspore develops into female gametophyte. In female gametophyte, archegonias are present. 2 or more number of archegonias are present. So archegonia. In female gametophyte, 2 or more number of archegonias are present. Here nucellus is present. Then it is a pollen chamber. Then micropyle. Integuments. Then vascular. And in cycus, largest male cone, largest sperma, largest ovula, largest egg is present in a cycus. So cycus have the largest ovule, largest egg, largest male cone and largest sperma. So largest male cone, largest sperm, largest ovule, largest egg present in a cycus. This ovule is a orthotropous ovule. Orthotropous ovule. In cycus, orthotropous ovule is present. That means chalaza, funicule, all are in a same line in a condition. In finus, anatropous ovule is present. In finus, anatropous ovule, inverted ovule is present. But the largest archegonium is present in a epithra. So largest archegonium is present in a epithra. Largest ovule, largest egg cell, largest male cone, largest sperm in a cycus. In cycus, ovule is a orthotropous ovule. In finus, ovule is a anatropous ovule. So megasporophyll. In some Gymnospermic plants, all megasporophylls aggregate to form a compact structure. This is called strobili or cone, female cone. So on female cone, megasporophylls are present. On megasporophylls, megasporangiums are present. Nothing but ovules. These are loosely arranged condition, without covered by any ovary wall. So ovary is absent. So freely arranged. So 2 to 6 pairs of ovules, megasporangiums are present. So it is a structure of a ovule. So within ovule, nucellus is present. So one of the cell of nucellus differentiated, developed into megaspore mother cell, 2n condition, where megaspore mother cell undergoes to meiotic division, produce the 4 megaspores. Out of 4 megaspores, only one is a functional condition. So functional megaspore develops into female gametophyte. So megaspore is a first cell for female gametophyte. Within female gametophyte, archegonias are present. One or more number of archegonias are present. Within archegonia, one ventricle cell, one egg cell is present. One ventricle cell, then one egg cell is present. One ventricle cell, then one egg cell is present. So after mature of sperms, pollen grains, these pollen grains shed or release from microsporangium into wind or air currents. Then by the wind or air, these pollen grains directly reach to this ovule. That means mouth of the ovule. So micropyle. This type of pollination is known as a wind pollination. Anemophily. So in gymnospermic plants, the pollination is a direct pollination, wind pollination, anemophilous. In gymnosperms, pollen grains directly reach to mouth of the ovule. That means a micropyle. Here no need of external water for movement of the sperms. In bryophytes, in pteridophytes, so a thin film of water required to sperma movement by the help of chemicals, chemotactic. But here pollen grains are directly reached to micropyle of the ovule. Then travel this nectar. These are reached to pollen chamber. So before pollination in gymnosperms, These pollen grains are three-celled condition: prothallel cell, tube cell, then generative cell. In finest, four-celled condition. Then tube cell grow and produce the pollen tube. So pollen tube. So tube cell grow and form the pollen tube. So while this time in pollen tube, the generative cell undergoes to mitotic division. Mitotic division produce the one stalk cell, then two sperm mother cell. One stalk cell, two sperma mother cells. These are two sperm mother cell undergoes to again mitotic division, produce the two male gametes. So produce the two male gametes. Produce the two male gametes. So before pollination in gymnosperms, in majority of the gymnosperms, pollen grain is a three-cell condition: prothallel cell, tube cell, generative cell. So when pollen grains reach to pollen chamber, then tube cell germinate to produce the pollen tube. Then prothallel cell disintegrated. Then generative cell undergoes to mitotic division, produce the two types of cells. So one is a stalk cell, second one is a sperm mother cell. Two sperma mother cells. This sperm mother cell again undergoes to mitotic division, produce the two male gametes. Two male gametes. Out of these two male gametes, only one is a functional condition. One male gamete is a functional condition. One male gamete is a functional. Second one is a non-functional in a condition. Then this pollen tube reach the archegonium. Then the tip of the pollen tube by thrusting release the male gametes into archegonium. In archegonium only one egg cell is present. Then this male gamete fuse with this egg cell, then form the zygote. So zygote is a diploid in a condition. So while this time the megasporangium, the ovule or female gametophyte develops into endosperm. So female gametophyte before the fertilization develops into endosperm. That's why in gymnosperms, endosperm is a haploid condition formation before fertilization. When pollen tube reach the archegonium, then release the male gametes. So before fertilization, this female gamete. Why? Because a female gamete with a store of food material, huge amount of food materials are stored in a female gametophyte. That's why before fertilization, this female gamete develops into endosperm. This endosperm will provide the nourishment for development of embryo, zygote to embryo, then embryo to seed. So in gymnosperms, endosperm is a haploid condition formation before fertilization. Then zygote oospore undergoes to number of mitotic divisions, then develops into embryo. Then the entire ovule develops into seed. So after fertilization, this ovule develops into seed. Next one, zygote develops into embryo. Then the integuments of the ovule develops into seed coat. The integments of the ovule develops into seed coat. So ovary is absent. So fruit also absent. After fertilization, seed also not enveloped by any fruit wall. That means the pericarp is absent. That's why seeds are a naked condition after fertilization. Before fertilization, ovule is not covered by the any ovary wall. So ovary is absent. After fertilization, this ovule develops into seed. The seed also not covered by any fruit wall. That means the fruit is absent. So before fertilization, ovule. After fertilization, seed is a naked condition. This type of plants is known as a gymnospermic plants. Then Gymnosperms also shows the heteromorphic alternations of generation, heterologous alternations of generation, both the gametophytic generation and sporophytic generation alternate to each other. Both are multicellular condition, but in gymnosperms, gametophytes are completely depends on sporophyte. Completely depends on sporophyte. Both the gametes, male gamete and female gamete are in a sporangium, not independent in condition. In bryophytes and pteridophytes, these gametophytes may be independent in nature, but in gymnosperms and angiosperms, both the gametophytes are not independent condition. These are retained within the sporangium. That means microsporangium and megasporangium. Development within this sporangium, retained in sporangium only. So gymnospermic plant shows the heteromorphic alternations of generation, but sporophytic generation is a dominant in nature. So life cycle is sporophyte. So sporophyte is a 2n in a condition. Then sporophyte, microsporophyte, then megasporophyte. So on microsporophyte, microsporangium. Then in megasporophyte, megasporangium. Microsporophyte, megasporophyte, microsporangium and megasporangium. Then here meiotic division. Here from the microspores, here megaspores, microspores and megaspores haploid condition. This form a male gametophyte. Male gametophyte, that means microgametophyte. Here female gametophyte. Female gametophyte, that means megagametophyte, then microgametophyte. So all in green. Then male gametophyte sperm, then female gametophyte egg, then fertilization, singamy, then from the zygote, then zygote to embryo in a seed, then embryo to directly sporophyte. Sporophyte, 2n condition, diploid condition, then gametophyte. applied in a condition. So polyembryony is a common in a gymnosperms. Best example, finance. Polyembryony is a common in a gymnosperms. That means more number of embryos are present in a single seed. This is known as a polyembryony condition. Life cycle of gymnosperms is a diplomatic life cycle. Gametophytic only in a gameta condition only. So the diplomatic life cycle. Then economic importance of gymnosperms. So gymnospermic plants will useful as a food, then fiber, paper, then wood materials for preparation of plywood, railway, sleepers, etc. So gymnospermic plants will useful as a wood materials, resins, papers, then medicine for this timber. So timber will useful to preparation of railway sleepers, then plywoods, then furnitures, etc. Then seeds of the gymnosperms. Example, finance, then cypress, then ginkgo, useful as a food. Roasted endosperm of seeds, roasted endosperm of seed will useful as a food materials. Then ephedrine. So ephedrine is a drug. So this drug will useful for respiratory ailments. So ephedrine obtained from the ephedra plant. So these are useful as a respiratory ailments. Next one, Canada balsam. Canada balsam. So Canada balsam obtained from Avis balsamia. Avis balsamia plant. This Canada balsam we can use for molding purpose, for preparation of permanent slides. For preparation of permanent slides. So Canada balsam we can obtain from the plants of Avis balsamia. This Canada balsam we can use for mounting purpose, for preparation of permanent slides. So this is the economic importance of gymnospermic plants.